Nobody voted for this. Have you heard any of the libs saying that in the past month or so? Of course you have. It's become their new thing. Whenever Trump does anything, they will say something along the lines of, this isn't what people voted for. People didn't vote for this. You can see it with the Department of Education. Came out yesterday, half the staff's getting fired. They're shutting down the building. You saw people all over the media. Nobody voted for this. This isn't what America voted for. And the irony in that, well, there's a couple ironic things about that. First, Donald Trump campaigned openly on all of these things. All of these things. You can get mad at Trump. You can love Trump. And I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care about it. It doesn't matter to me. But you cannot call Donald Trump a liar. Donald Trump campaigned openly on the most right-wing based general election presidential platform I've ever seen in my life. Every other Republican, including Trump the first time, after they win the primary, they kind of, I don't want to say moderate, that's not fair to a lot of them, but they really kind of tweak this and tweak that, trying to make sure things are more palatable for the norms and normas who don't understand politics. Donald Trump didn't do that at all this time. He won the primary, stormed through the primary with ease, and continued, while he was the Republican nominee, to talk about the elimination of the Department of Education, to talk about the draining of the swamp, to talk about taking possession of Greenland. It's not like Donald Trump was hiding any of these things. He talked about tariffs. You see all these people in the news right now, tariff this, tariff that. Nobody voted for this. Donald Trump campaigned and said that's what he was going to do. So people did. But enough of that. I want to talk about me, the FBI, the intelligence agencies, Kash Patel. Nobody voted for this. I said it's kind of funny they say that for two reasons. The first I already went over, but here's the second reason. I know trends are a thing. Group trends are a thing. We can talk about that, and we do on the show. Men do this, women do that. White people do this, black people do that. Mexicans do this, Catholics do this, Mormons do. But we can generalize. That's fine from time to time. But you're an individual no matter who you are. Man, woman, child, old, young, your belief system, your skin color. You're an individual who makes individual decisions. So you really shouldn't ever say people didn't vote for this, because people vote for different reasons. I personally know a bunch of different people in different walks of life who voted for Trump for reasons that I won't say didn't enter my mind, but they certainly aren't what drove me to the polls. I know of a young couple, extremely health conscious. They are these fitness gym freaks. They just are. Hey, good for them. They're very healthy. They look fantastic. They raise their children to be fitness gym freaks. They're the couple, they don't, look, maybe they take it too far. I don't know. They don't trick or treat on Halloween. Right? No candy, that kind of thing. But who cares, right? It's their kids, their life. Very healthy way to live. Go ahead. They voted for Donald Trump because they'll make America healthy again stuff. Did that drive you to the polls? I saw it. I liked it. It didn't drive me to the polls. I'll be frank with you. Low taxes didn't drive me to the polls. And I hate taxes. You know what drove me to the polls? I was going to vote for Trump either way as soon as he became the Republican nominee. Why did I vote, though? Why was I so excited to vote? I voted so government people can go to prison. And I believed then, and I believe now, that electing Donald Trump as president of the United States of America gave me the best chance to see government people going to prison. I don't say that as a vengeful person, even though I probably am a vengeful person. I say that because I believe that is the only way the United States of America can be saved long term. That is, if government people go to prison now, therefore future criminals who take positions inside of the government will be too afraid to commit crimes. I don't think it's a side issue, not for me. You may feel differently. For me, sending government people to prison is not a side issue. It is the issue that, for me, again, for me, will define whether or not Donald Trump 2.0 is a success or a failure. If his 4 years end and government people aren't in prison, I will consider his presidency a failure. If his presidency ends in 4 years, and maybe inflation's still a little bad, but government people have gone to prison, I will consider his presidency a success. That brings me to things like the FBI. Kash Patel sworn as FBI director. Now, I understand my desires may very well be your desires. Maybe you're sitting there cheering and saying, yes, government people have to go to prison. Good, sounds good. And I understand because of that, we can all, myself included, get impatient. We want it now. So I understand that. I get that about you and I get that about me. I also understand things take time. Kash Patel's talking today about a lot of things, exposing some bad people inside the FBI. Criminal referrals. Referrals, do keep in mind, just means he makes a recommendation to Pam Bondi, AG. Then once again, it's up to Pam Bondi to decide what to do about it. But okay, that sounds good. I'm all on board. Yes, I know these things take time. From what I have observed, the Trump administration, when it comes to things like sending people to prison, mass deportation, they are being very deliberate about it, trying to make sure the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, making sure they have the right things in place at the right time to do it the right way. And because I understand that, I'm not sitting here screaming at anybody. All I've seen and heard are impressive things from Kash Patel. But just to make my point crystal clear, you remember the guy in the New York field office, right? The FBI New York field office. You remember him. Hopefully you remember him. He was the one directly after the election. James Dennehy is his name. He's the big cheese in New York City. He's the FBI guy who told his agents to dig in right after Trump was elected. He's a man who views his role, well, his former role now at the FBI, as stopping the reforms the American people voted for. That's what he views. Him and most of the communists inside the federal government, they view that as being their role, not serving you, not saving the country, not chasing down crime. They view their central role as protecting American communism from the American voter. And Dennehy, when he was let go to a hero's send-off?
An extraordinary scene outside of the New York FBI office in the last hour. Assistant Director in Charge, James Dennehy, who was forced to resign under pressure this week, left the building to cheers from hundreds of his colleagues and the sound of bagpipes. He was forced out after clashing with Donald Trump's Justice Department after the removal of senior FBI leaders and requests for the names of agents who worked on the January 6 cases. He told those gathered that he will be their, quote, best cheerleader on the outside.
Just to be clear, doesn't matter your thoughts on Trump, Republican, Democrat. Donald Trump got elected president of the United States of America. Pam Bondi's the attorney general. She is most definitely over the FBI. She told James Dennehy that he must deliver documents to her. James Dennehy, being a committed communist inside of the government, decided he was going to resist that order. He then got fired for resisting that order, and he didn't walk out of the building with a hoodie over his head in disgrace, moving to Montana to change his name. He walked out of the building to bagpipes and a bunch of other communists at the FBI celebrating him on the way out the door. The rot is so deep inside of this federal government, even if we have the most committed Trump administration we've ever had in this country, I'm still not sure they will be capable of cleaning it out in 4 years. But just know the cuts must be very, very deep, and they must do things that are going to shock you. These people have to go to prison. If they are not sent to prison, retirement's not near enough. If they are not sent to prison, then we're just going to get another Democrat in there at some point in time who's going to do all the same things, if not worse. And the communists inside of the government will do it without fear. If government people do not go to prison, we cannot save the United States of America. I don't care how secure the border is, how good inflation gets, how low taxes are. We cannot save the United States of America without government people going to prison. Once your government has become an evil criminal organization the way ours are, well, the only way out of that is sending criminals to prison. You can't break up the American mafia without sending mobsters to prison, and you can't save the United States of America without sending FBI agents to prison. Ever heard of Elvis Chan? Sure that you have. You know, the Elvis Chan who took his position as special agent and used it to ensure that a damaging story of Hunter Biden did not see the light of day on Facebook. That way Joe Biden could win an election. You know, this Elvis Chan.
I was very involved. Our field office, FBI San Francisco, was very involved in helping to protect the US elections in 2020. And I think we can all agree, or I think many of us can agree, that it was a very safe election. We talked with all of these entities I mentioned regularly, at least on a monthly basis, and right before the election, probably on a weekly basis, right? If they were seeing anything unusual, if we were seeing anything unusual, sharing intelligence with technology companies, with social media companies, so that they could protect their own platforms, right?
See how smug he is? Not afraid at all. Look at how proud of himself he is. We can all agree it was pretty safe. Used his position as special agent in the Federal Bureau of Investigation to electioneer on behalf of Democrats and ensure Donald Trump could not win re-election, brags about it on camera. Firings are not near enough. I'm happy to hear the things Kash Patel said today. I choose to believe at this point in time that they are being deliberate so they can ensure these things are done right, so that people, when arrested, will be arrested the right way, tried the right way, convicted the right way. These things take time. You have to check the proper boxes. I'm choosing to believe that is what is currently going on, and I choose to believe that because there is no other way to save the country except by sending these people to federal prison. All that may have made you uncomfortable, but I am right. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.